Coming up tonight on YCN News, Windsor, Vermont will keep its prison. School mergers in Vermont may happen. And Laconia gets the Pumpkin Fest nod. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening. It's Friday, April 24th. I'm Abby Peel. Welcome to YCN News. Vermont property owners may be getting a sign of relief that their concerns over rising school costs are being heard. The State Senate Education Committee passed House Bill 361. The bill calls for making amendments to education funding, spending, and governance. If after further study and votes by the legislator, the proposed bill would encourage small school districts to merge with other districts. The goal would be for each district to have no fewer than 900 students. YCN News will update you on the bill's progress. In other Vermont state news, the Senate Appropriations Committee removed language from a bill calling for a Windsor prison to close. House Bill 490, as introduced, cited a plan to close the Southeast State Correctional Facility over a 2-year period. Local jobs at the prison and Windsor's economy could have been affected by the closure if it went through. Now those worries are by the wayside. Even so, the bill still calls for the prison's population to be reduced by 100 inmates, reports online news outlet vermontdigger.org. Yes, it will be a New Hampshire city that hosts the next Keene Pumpkin Festival. While it won't be in Keene, we'll tell you which city you got the green light. YCN's Lisa O'Connell explains.
New Hampshire's City of All Things Motorcycle also will become the City of All Things Pumpkin in October. Today in Laconia, home to the annual Bike Week, Keene Pumpkin Festival organizer Ruth Sterling officially announced that this Lakes Region city would host next October's Pumpkin Festival. Laconia Mayor Ed Engler told the Associated Press the city is used to dealing with large crowds and security would not be an issue. On its website, pumpkinfestival2014.org, there is no reminder of why the festival had to find a new home for its October 2015 event. Keene City councilors did not reissue a permit to Let It Shine, the nonprofit producer of the Pumpkin Festival. Sterling works with Let It Shine. Last October's festival in Keene went fine along Main Street, yet in neighborhoods off the Keene State College campus, it was a different story. State and local police in riot gear quelled student parties fueled by alcohol. More than 90 students and visitors were arrested. News of other cities wanting to host the Keene event grew fast, including Nashua and Leominster, Massachusetts. Claremont got in line too. Sterling met with Claremont residents last Saturday, but changed her mind about bringing the event and its sponsors' dollars to the city. Even though Claremont lost out, city residents may put on a pumpkin festival anyway. Meanwhile, it will be Saturday, October 24th in Laconia, where the next largest display of pumpkins in New Hampshire will happen. For YCN News, I'm Lisa Connell.
October 24th is 6 months away. That's a lot of time for planning. In other regional news, a Southern Vermont mental health hospital remains accredited for another 3 years, that according to the Vermont Business Magazine. Brattleboro Retreat, where people go for help dealing with emotional and addiction issues, received the status from the Joint Commission. The Joint Commission is an organization that certifies hospitals and healthcare groups. This means the retreat meets or exceeds accepted performance standards. The retreat's approval to operate is good through January 2018. Coming up on YCN News, New Hampshire State Police make an arrest of a mobile meth lab, and a reminder that a walk to support preventing domestic violence is coming up this weekend. These stories, weather, and sports all coming up when YCN News returns.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Abby Peel. It began with a routine traffic stop and led to the arrest of a Manchester, New Hampshire man wanted in Claremont and now also charged with driving a mobile meth lab. A New Hampshire state trooper stopped a car last night for its defective taillights. When the trooper ran the driver's license and auto registration, they learned 32-year-old Derek Henschel had an effective warrant for his arrest for failure to appear in the Fifth Circuit Court in Claremont on a charge of simple assault. Henschel was arrested on the spot. He was unable to make arrangements for his silver Dodge Caravan to be towed, so another trooper called a tow truck. Both troopers began inventory of the contents in Henschel's car for towing purposes. That's when police found narcotics, drug paraphernalia, and items consistent with manufacture of methamphetamine. Troopers stopped and applied through a judge for a search warrant granted later that night. Henschel is now charged with 2 counts of attempted meth manufacture, narcotic drug possession, and 2 counts of transporting a controlled drug in a motor vehicle. He was being held on $15,000 cash bail pending his arraignment today. Henschel was on parole for a meth-making conviction in 2011. A Brooklyn, New York man is under arrest by Vermont State Police charged with speeding and identity theft. 26-year-old Marcus Delisle was stopped by driving 97 miles per hour in a 65-mile-an-hour zone on I-91 North in Dummerston. It was shortly before 2 p.m. the trooper noticed a strong smell of marijuana coming from the car. Police sought and received a search warrant to check out the car. Police say 35 different credit cards with different account numbers were found in Delisle's car. 4 false IDs were also found. Each ID had Delisle's picture on them. Police contacted the credit card companies. All of the account numbers on the 35 credit cards were active accounts. Delisle was ordered held on $25,000 cash bail on the 2 charges. He was scheduled to be arraigned in the Windham County Court. A reminder that tomorrow morning is the annual Turning Points Network Walk to raise money and awareness of domestic violence and abuse. Meet at the Claremont Middle School at 9:45 a.m. to register. The walk will end at noon, also at the school. For more information, go to online to freetosoar.org. Coming up next on YCN News, Lynn Solomon sits down with Patricia Denny of the Northern New England Repertory Theater to discuss the upcoming performance of Educating Rita. That's coming up when YCN News continues.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Mike Pizzone. Well, we only managed to see some glimpses of sun out there today, but it looks like we're in for a much brighter start to the weekend tomorrow. The skies will remain mostly cloudy tonight with a low of 31 degrees and wind gusts of up to 10 miles per hour. That wind will pick up in intensity during the day tomorrow, but at least we'll have mostly sunny skies with a 52-degree high and no real chances of rain. Skies will become partly cloudy tomorrow night with a low of 35 degrees and remain cloudy Sunday with a 30% chance of showers in the afternoon. Temperatures will still break that 50-degree mark though, with a high of 53 degrees during the day before bottoming out at about 37 Sunday evening. Now let's take a look at our community calendar to see what's happening over the weekend. The Friends of the Minor Memorial Library are putting on a rabies clinic with Dr. Jolene Johnson tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Leominster Town Office in Leominster, New Hampshire. Call the number on the screen for more information. Unity New Hampshire's Roadside Cleanup Day will be held tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. throughout the town. Volunteers can pick up blue trash bags at the Unity Recycling Center anytime after 8 a.m. and refreshments will be available at the Unity Town Hall. Call the number on the screen for more information. The Windsor Rotary Club in Windsor, Vermont will hold its annual penny sale tomorrow at 7 p.m. at Windsor High School. Admission is free and there are up to 300 prizes available. It wasn't the most fitting weather for spring sports yesterday with snow flurries falling throughout the majority of the region, but local teams battled through the conditions nonetheless, including the Stevens softball team in its home opener against Newfound. The Cardinals headed into the contest with high hopes against the Newfound team that was outscored 38-4 in 3 straight losses to begin the season, but the Bears turned it on yesterday, improving to 1-3 with an impressive 25-7 victory on the road. Stevens fell behind 3-0 after the opening frame and trailed 12-0 after the second, but the home team's bats began to come alive from there as it crossed the plate 3 times in the third to put to rest any possibility of a shutout. Ashley Irish began her team's rally with this RBI double to center field before Brittany Fitzpatrick drove in a run with this infield single up the first base line. Molly Early added her team's third RBI the inning moments later when she sent this single into right field. The Cardinals never gave in though and added 4 more runs in the 5th, benefiting from a leadoff triple by Irish before an RBI single from catcher Ariel Vincent and a strong infield hit from Early helped the team cap things off on a good note. Riley Brown pitched well for Stevens in what was just her second varsity outing in the circle, throwing 3+ innings of relief. Stevens will try and bounce back from its second straight loss and net its first win of the season tomorrow when it travels to face non-divisional Hanover. The Marauders, who compete in Division II, are 0-1 on the season. The Stevens baseball team, on the other hand, improved to 2-0 with its win over Newfound, benefiting from a solid outing on the mound by senior Briar Roulard. Roulard pitched all 5 innings for the Cardinals, allowing just 2 hits and no walks while striking out 9. Chase Hussey led the way from the plate with 3 RBI on 3 hits, followed by Brandon Bell with 2 hits and an RBI. Stevens will go back at it on Monday when they host Kearsarge. The Springfield softball team also kept its flawless record intact, earning a 2-1 victory over Hartford with help from some more strong pitching by Jay Twombly. Twombly went the distance for the Cosmos, allowing 3 hits and a walk while striking out 13. Both of Springfield's runs came in the 4th inning and were unearned before Caitlin Woodard's RBI double for the Hurricanes in the 6th plated Kayla Lancourt for the home team's lone run. Springfield is now 3-0 and will play Fairhaven on Monday. Hartford is now 0-1 and will travel to play Rutland tomorrow. Both the Lebanon and Kearsarge girls lacrosse teams came away with impressive wins yesterday as Raiders senior Emily Perryman notched her 200th career goal in her team's win over Bishop Brady, and Eleanor Angus tallied 6 goals and a pair of assists in the Cougars' victory over Conval. Lebanon is now 2-0 and will host Conval on Tuesday, and Kearsarge improved to 3-0 and will play Laconia today. That does it for YCN Sports. I'm Mike Pizzone.
Thanks, Mike. It's Friday, and that means the Week in Review is coming up next when YCN News continues.
The YCN News continues in a moment.